everybody. Oh, no, I'm going to retake that. Alright. Hello, everybody. Again, Frouwo here with Next in Sponsorship League Season 3, Round of 4, 5&Q versus EoT. 5&Q ahead 2-0 now after that very quick win last game. 18 minutes in, overwhelming EoT, just an insane amount in the other game. But regardless, we have at least one more match in this game. 5&Q looking to shut it away, while EoT hoping they can hang on. But we're going to hop into bans real quick because I am behind on the draft right now. But we have bans on the Timbersaw, Bristleback, as well as the Marana, Nature's Prophet, and Batrider from 5&Q. And bans out from EoT thus far have been Slark, Venomancer, Puck, as well as the Nyx, and now Templar Assassin. 5&Q in the meantime, picking up the Pudge for QO in the mid lane. What are we doing now? But anyway, the rest of the picks for 5&Q is Skywrath, Bounty Hunter, Crystal Maiden, and the Lifestealer. EoT in the meantime picking up the Alchemist, the Weaver, the Bane, and the Dragon Knight. Pudge though, Pudge in the Korean scene. This is going to be quite the interesting game. 5&Q feeling very comfortable with their lead 2-0 over EoT. Just going to look to trample over them with these picks. Skywrath also another interesting pick for 5&Q. Bounty, of course, picked up to get some tracking on that Weaver. In Invoker, the last pickup for EoT. Definitely going to be an interesting mid lane Pudge versus Invoker. A classic pub matchup per se. QO is certainly going to have a difficult time against the Invoker though. Invoker being a ranged hero and Pudge being that melee hero, but it does have the hook for that burst capability. And pause coming out from Jumong, and it seems as if our friend Chrissy has disconnected. So in the meantime, I'm just going to do player introductions. We will start with 5&Q since they do have their entire team ready. Hopefully we don't have to restart, but it is a pause and someone is missing. So Frouwo, oh no, Chrissy reconnecting. And if she picks her hero, we will be good to go. And picking the Dragon Knight. Oh yes, because wait, a little bit different. Your choices. RY still gonna go mid, and Chrissy maybe the offlane Invoker. Soul in the safe lane. We'll have to see. But anyway, doing the introductions. QO on the Pudge, Sagan on that offlane Bounty Hunter, Function on the Crystal Maiden, Anarchy on the Skywrath, Cynical on the Lifestealer. And in the meantime, EoT gonna smoke down mid. Gonna start player introductions as they do so, however. Jumong on the Weaver, Pyong on the Bane, Cast on the Alchemist, RY on the Dragon Knight, Chrissy on that Invoker. Sagan in a bit of trouble here. Sentry dropped by Pyong. Sagan, we're just gonna walk away. Wasted sentry and all. Really couldn't get that sleep off in time, so EoT wasting a sentry, wasting a smoke, really for nothing, as 5&Q get the free ward placement down on the Radiant small camp. Chrissy here, gonna be in a bit of trouble now, caught up by Function as well as Cynical and Anarchy. Frostbitten up by Function, Cynical doing the right clicks, a couple more right clicks, and Chrissy falling first blood. Not a good start for this Invoker at all. Well, actually, again, this isn't really game death. Early game deaths don't really impend that much, but in essence, the Skywrath going to get a load of gold, 450 gold in the bank now for him, although not a solo mid, rather support. Could still see him possibly ball out of control. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Chris, in the meantime, going to head top as the tri-lane is bottom for 5&Q. So we'll be going up against Sagan in that top lane. Q in the meantime going to face up against RYR on the Dragon Knight in the mid lane. So no Invoker versus Pudge, rather just Typical Dragon Knight pick out of ROI. Second game he's played it now. At least in this series. And 5&Q gonna harass as much as they can against this lane of Alk and Weaver.
Not yours.
And 2 killed Sentry first. Oof, EoT is barely getting it as the last right clicks were about to fly out from 5&Q. So Weaver just a bit safer in that lane now. Anyway, ROI in the mid lane, taking a bit of harassment Pudge. Melee versus melee, Pudge has a much bigger advantage with that Rot, as well as the magic damage that really he can push out. Oh boy. Barely slaying each other now, I guess, in the mid lane. So Dragon Knight actually coming out ahead in that match, as the Dragon Knight did get the kill before he died. So getting the experience, getting none on Pudge as far as experience goes. Cynical and Jumong actually trading blows at this point. Stun flew out Jumong there, but already salving up. And EoT doing very well in this laning stage so far. So as we can see, the experience discrepancy is about 200 points in the favor of ROI after that kill. Not the best for QO as a start. Did not actually get a flesh heap, I believe. I'm not sure on the Pudge mechanics, but I'm not sure if he gets stacks before he gets the passive or not, so who knows. Anyway, this trying working out well for both teams. Jumong though, gonna Sakuchi in, Sakuchi out. Cynical taking a bit of damage there. And Chrissy gonna do a pull on that large camp top. Sagan likely gonna have a tough time competing, as Chrissy, if he shows his face, will do quite a bit of damage. QO showing off the hooks in the mid lane. That's 2 for 2 so far. Really contemplated that first hook in that kill though. Earlier, at least. And really interested in the last hits at this point. Pudge and DK pretty even. Invoker at the top of the charts actually, so Chrissy doing very well against the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter not be able to compete, but still pretty high as far as last hits go in that lane. And Weaver 9-0 compared to the lifesteal in this lane, so all lanes really penning up pretty evenly. Aside from mid, where of course DK has that extra experience advantage. From the first kill. But it seems to be evening out pretty well at this point. RY hitting level 5 as Pudge is about halfway to level 5, so yeah. Jumong having a second salve popped on him using cast salve this time, so really cannot sustain this lane with all the nuke potential or harass I think you can put out. And Pudge now getting his boots as well as his bottle. RY bottle crowing his bottle, doesn't have it for this rune. Pudge cannot really contest, too low on life. In bottom lane, acid spray being thrown out by Cast. Cast using that spray pretty effectively. It does quite a large AoE and damage over time. So very, very good. Sunstrike coming up from Chrissy onto 5&Q, or onto QO. QO dying again in the mid lane to RY. Very well coordinated, I'd say, even though QO was standing pretty still, and as soon as he retreated, just right in the wrong spot. He's not wary of the Invoker, I assume. But now 2 deaths for Pudge in that mid lane, so could be a mispick, could be a bit of cockiness coming to 5&Q, but as I said, they were likely feeling very comfortable coming this game being up 2-0 in the best of 5, so not a big deal if it doesn't work out well for them. But EoT must be feeling pretty comfortable right now, or pretty high and mighty, as the Pudge, the pick that was going to be the bane of EoT this game, turns out not to be effective thus far at all. Being, I wouldn't say dominated the mid lane, but kind of sort of, as Cast now running in with a stun. Sunstrike from Invoker, secondary stun from Cast, and now QO going down once again. This is very reminiscent of that first game where QO, I believe, had been playing... No, hadn't been playing the Dragon Knight. What was he playing in the first game? For some reason, I cannot remember it for the life of me, but I do remember him playing the game before that. But all I can really say about that is that EoT really enjoyed their ganks on mid. White now a full 2 levels ahead of Pudge. And Cass in a bit of trouble here as Function. Going to Frostbite up Cass, but stunning Pudge. Not quick enough though, and goes down to the Skywrath as well as Crystal Maiden. So QO bounced back a bit, now has his wand. And good rotation out of 5 and Q. Function and Anarchy doing work. And Pudge hits the hook, bites up on RY, and QO turning. And really can't take that fight. Bounty Hunter in the meantime going to rotate mid. Now level 6, going to get that track money, hopefully, from killing RY, but RY? Tracked up. Shuriken. Sagan now stunned up. Sunstrike missing though, and QO getting another hook. Sweet dear Dota. Sagan slaying the Dragon Knight, getting the track money. And QO now bounced back a bit. Certainly doing well. The hooks landing, just couldn't really deal with the early pressure from the supports rotating. And 2 Bracers coming out for Pudge now. Likely going to work towards the urn. Skywrath teleporting top. Gonna farm up a bit against Chrissy. And Bane now purchasing a smoke. Really haven't seen too much of Bane this game. Hasn't done too much in general. Didn't really rotate for the ganks at all, and didn't support the tri-lane in any noticeable manner. Kill in the meantime, picking up that DD rune top. Maybe get another kill on RY. Bounty Hunter in the meantime, rotating bottom. Although I did miss the kill, Weaver does die near to the edge of his tower's line. And Pudge in the meantime, stun up again, mid double stun and Sunstruck. Chrissy 2 for 3 on the Sunstrike so far. Stun is certainly helping out with that though. Anarchy slept up now by Pyong, and instant teleport reaction from the Crystal Maiden. Cold Snap out of Chrissy. Anarchy tries to save his life with the magic stick, isn't enough however, and falls to Chrissy and Pyong.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So Dragon Knight gonna try and harass on this tier 1 tower with the poison corrosive breath, my bad. Not poison breath, corrosive breath. And Cynical trading blows with Jumong, but Cass gonna rotate out of the woods, and Cynical gonna go down here. Back and forth in most of the lanes now as EoT up 6-5 on kills over 5 in Q. It certainly wouldn't be a bad time to check the gold and experience graphs. Bouncing back and forth, really no distinct advantage. Actually now turning in EoT's favor pretty heavily. EoT actually now ahead as well by 3,000 experience, so. Hook again by QO. QO just landing all these hooks, but can't manage to get any kills. No support really from his team. And the solo kills really wouldn't really connect with Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight, very survivable, very tanky hero. Not something like a Shadow Fiend where, if playing against a Pudge, would die near instantly had he been hooked. But of course, that's part of the draft. QO function, gonna rotate bottom. Looking for the Weaver. Sentry about to expire though, so it could be a bit risky or a bit difficult for them to get this. No dust, but or sentries on any. Well, there is a sentry on Skyrath, just in case. But RY in the meantime, going to push down the mid tower with none of Hammer or 5 there. But a deny comes out from Pudge and hook. No hook. Stun up on Sagan though. Sentry dropped by RY or Pyong rather. And Skyrath killing Weaver in the meantime. Sagan still going down. But really trading Invis Hero for Invis Hero, not the worst thing. Weaver seems to be going down to a solo Skyrath though. Popped the ult. Must have been very impressive, however I did miss it, so I was too busy watching the action in the mid lane. And EoT still ahead on the kills, getting that tower mid, although denied, so not what we want, but gold is gold, so can't really complain. And 5Q looking to kill the Weaver once again. And Q misses. Stun comes up from Cast and company coming from behind. RY right clicking down the Skyrath and Sunstrike finishing him up from Chrissy. Chrissy doing very well with the Sunstrike. This hero can just do so much work from not even having to rotate. Chrissy just staying top most of the entire time even. And EoT now going to look to push down this bottom tower. Bottom tier 1 tower, rather. And 5Q might really be in a bit of trouble this game. This isn't at all similar to game 1 where they had the Naga Siren as a backup plan. Rather, there's no backup plan this time. Cast being blown up by the ult and Swarm coming out from the Weaver. Weaver doing some more right clicks on the Cynical Bane in the meantime, falling from the bounty as well as the Life Stealer, and it seems to be a 3 for 3 trade as Pudge, Life Stealer, and Bounty falling for 5Q. Jumong, Chrissy, and surviving that fight, but our friends Pyong, Cast, as well as RY not surviving. But it's good that Jumong actually lived through the fight, however, and started to get up some more of those levels, some more gold as well. Getting those 3 assists and or kills. But even fights are good fights for 5Q as they do have the Bounty Hunter, so any track gold is very, very, very good for 5Q at this point, being behind on that gold money. Now by 2k or so. Pudge hooking a creep for that last hit. And Function just chilling on this bottom lane. Again, can't really go up against Invoker in general. Sunstrike, Cold Snap, and the Forward Spirits will just tear him apart. And top lane seems to be a bit of action there. Oh, rather not. Sagan, Stalk, and EoT, however. The Anarchy in the back, ready to assist. Sagan running away. Essentially placed too far out of range for EoT to do any kind of work. And now 4 top for EoT. Certainly looking to push on this tower now. And falls very quickly. It's already been pretty low beforehand, I assume. And instant TP reactions out on bottom. Chrissy being ulted upon by the Pudge. Hook finishes the kill. Chrissy's streak being ended with Sunstrikes. Really just doing most of that work. Anyway, Jumong in the top lane in the meantime. Sagan waiting for some vision, ready to track him up, and stunned, hooked, ult expended from Skyrath Mage even, and just instantly blown up. Weaver really having no survivability in the meantime. And bottom, however, Lifestealer being gripped, but manages to get away. Crystal Maiden manages, or however, falls. So 1-for-1 trade on that bottom. Well, 0-for-1 trade on that bottom lane. However, getting the Weaver top certainly worth it for a Crystal Maiden. Not really an actual fight, however, so could have just been prevented in general. Having Lifestealer and Crystal Maiden back just a tad bit further.
Structures are fortified.
EoT, however, looking to clean up this last outer tier 1 tower. And indeed is going down.
Dire's bottom tower has
5 and
fallen.
Q just trying to farm up a bit.
Dire's
But
bottom tower is
EoT not going to stop the push. Anarchy going to look to rotate in, maybe harass a couple heroes back so they consider otherwise, but backing off on their own terms after seeing all of 5 and Q disappear off the minimap. And seems both teams again just gonna farm up for a bit. Rotating through the woods and some ancient farming from 5 and Q.
is under attack.
Smoking up actually. Oh, the Pudge bombs. And Sagan. Going to be chasing down Chrissy. Chrissy now tracked up. It's going to be slowed up by the Skywrath. Cast in the meantime, hiding back here. Silenced up by Anarchy, however. Likely going to stun himself. Indeed, he does. Now gone upon by the Skywrath. Skywrath alting, and Bane hooked by QO, who subsequently dies. Chrissy just going to teleport out of there. Too scary, too spooky. 5 of 5 and Q on the bottom lane now. Gonna try and get this tower. Creeps, however, are pretty far back, so someone's gonna tank it, and Pudge seems to be willing.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And EoT just gonna delay this push a little bit, and ends up going down anyway. Function getting last hit on the Crystal Maiden. But yeah, good rotation out of 5 and Q there. Smoke working very well, getting the kill on the Bane as well as the Alchemist, 2 supports, and a tower, all for the price of 1 smoke. But 5 and Q now in the lead with kills. Let's check out items because Weaver been looking at them just now and doesn't really have too much. Could be working towards that Lincoln's, just saving up for an ultimate orb at this point.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Chrissy actually with a 4-staff and working towards a Hex now, 2300 off, but with the ultimate orb and Voidstone already, it's nearly halfway there. BKB nearly done on RY. Pyong just with boots and Alchemist boots as well as the medallion. 5 and Q. As EoT push the tower, we're gonna look to see what they really have, but really no true sight up. Oh, there is a ward though. Cast hooked by QO. QO taking a lot of damage, however. RY gone upon by the bounty and lifestealer bomb, and Bane gonna die after trying to grip that lifestealer. Pudge barely dodging the Sunstrike, and EoT losing to once again the Bane and the Alk, going down for a second time. Tower, however, went down for 5 and Q, so I would say an even trade in terms of gold, as 5 and Q do have the track. So DK now finishing his BKB. Good for him. Certainly doing very well in the early stages of the game, and now working towards that mid-game dominance with the BKB. And in the meantime, Chrissy looks to maybe go in the CM mid, but decides otherwise, as maybe sees the Bounty Hunter cloak in the nearby vicinity. Bounty Hunter, though, I'm not 100% sure what he's working on. The drums, really don't believe can pair anything with an Org Club. Hooking right from QO, missing. But Bounty Hunter's Org Club, as well as, I'm not sure, it could be working towards a BKB and a set of drums, but probably just debating with his team whether or not, or what she should get right now. Funky in the meantime going to push top.
Top tower is under
QO
attack.
looking to intercept Chrissy here, and Chrissy going to try and turn it around. Sunstrike hitting, Cold Snap, as well as the Fort Spirits, doing loads of damage to QO. Function, however, dying here. Chrissy now. Oh, nearly dying to the Pudge after that blink up on the high lane. Oh, does actually fall the Bounty Hunter. Shuriken at the last second. But Bounty Hunter paying with his life for that kill. And Pudge now dying as well. Cynical. Going on to the Dragon Knight, stunned up, however, and it's going to try and get out of there. Cannot armor toggle fast enough, and Anarchy just going to teleport out at this point. Last survivor of 5MQ. So 5MQ actually losing that fight pretty heavily, losing 4 there versus the 2 of EoT. EoT just getting very low and not losing any heroes, sustaining very well, rotating in very accordingly. The Invoker does go down, as does the Bane, but 4 for 2 again, not the best of traits for 5Q, regardless of the tracks at this point. And RY, as well as Jumong and Cass, going to look at this tier 2 tower. Instantly back off, however, say, hey, let's go to Roshan. It seems like a better idea. Alright, just being tired along, and RY is just heading right to the woods, or looking for the rune, rather. Ooh. Chrissy finding a nice stack here. Gonna farm it up, steal some of 5Q's monies. And there's also this blink on Pudge. It's an interesting pick. And we should probably actually look at the rest of 5Q's items. Cynical now working towards a Basher. And yes, Sagan is actually working towards that BKB. No drums yet, just yet from him. Mirrored into this. Oh boy, Sagan in a bit of trouble here. Sagan gripped up, Sunstrike missing. Grip actually not held on for long enough as 5Q rotates in now, and again, they hit the Alchemist, the Bane dying. Really, the Alchemist and Bane can do a lot just by themselves, and with having the Ochre support, like double stun with the grip, and just so much damage they can put out, especially again with that Invoker providing the Sunstrike. So it's really a 3-man gank, but 3-man roaming team, but when you run into 3 more heroes, it's really not going to count as 3 with just the Sunstrike being there. So again, Alchemist Bane feeding 5Q. 5Q still holding on, leading in kills, but experience and gold-wise, still it's trending in their favor a bit, but EoT still have the upper hand in terms of things. Cynical just going to try and farm up though, try and catch up to whatever the Puck has. The Puck likely has near nothing though. Actually finishing up the Lincolns now. Still Lincolns. Really not going to help him too much in this match. It will stop the track, it will stop Frostbite, but damage like Scarlet Mage is all, Pudge's hook, stuff like that, just gonna tear him apart regardless. So it may not be the best choice item, but it certainly will help him out a bit with survivability. And get rid of this annoying track on himself. Anyway, EoT gonna rotate towards this bottom lane after taking out the T2 mid. One last outer tower left for 5Q, and it's already pretty low after an earlier push. And hook coming up from QO, just getting the forward spirit, and cold snapped up by the Invoker. Meatball rolls. QO stuck in the acid spray, cannot blink out, and Pudge going down now. Sagan, the next to be caught out. Pudge buying back, however. And EoT not really forcing the Pudge buyback, but once they see it, they really are scared. QO managed to hook the Weaver, but just going to back off Cynical. In the meantime, Hexed up and going to go down. Oh, that's a real big blow for 5Q at this point, just losing their carry, their only hope at really coming back. And QO going to die a second time here, and 5Q starting to fall apart at the seams, really. Losing 3 people in that fight, Pudge twice, so as well as their bounty hunter and their life stealer. So two of the most important heroes they need to not die to indeed fall, and EoT is going to push this bottom tower. Likely go for Rax as 5 and Q just can't contest at all. Just spam from the Skywrath as well as the Crystal Maid is all they can do right now. And the melee racks do go down for 5 and Q, and this game's certainly looking grim at this point. Reactionary TP top from Jamon, gonna farm it up and protect the tower a bit. Pyong, gonna make it alive. No stuns available for 5 and Q. And EoT coming back in the series, coming back in the taking a strong lead in the game. Oh my! I heard this animation. I wasn't sure how low Skywrath was. I look at the last moment and Skywrath just plops down dead on the ground after that 6 Sunstrike from Chrissy, noticing how low Skywrath was. 5 and Q though not giving up just yet, even though gold spiking from a 2k advantage to a 10k advantage within the past 3 or so minutes. Experience nearly telling the same story, hopping at about 5,000 in the advantage of EoT. 5 and Q though not giving up. Blink onto RY from Pudge. Cynical gonna hop right on it as well. RY running back, however, now hexed up from the Invoker and gonna fall from the grip and the Fire Breath. Pudge falling as well, and just GG called by 5 and Q. Last ditch attempt mid, and 5 and Q gonna bow without having to struggle dealing with the push from EoT. Rather just gonna tap out. They've had enough, realizing the Pudge isn't gonna work, and there's no way they're gonna come back in this game. So we have ourselves a series, friends. EoT winning their first game of the series, now 2-1 with 5 and Q still in the lead. 5 and Q needing that 1-1 match to win the series and progress to the winner's bracket, but EoT not letting them just yet. Anyway, this is Frouwo. I appreciate it for watching. If you enjoy the cast, share it, spread it, all that kind of stuff. Just get the word out there. Hey, this guy's has decent casting, I guess. If you didn't like it, contact me via YouTube, via Twitter, via Twitch, any of those sources, and I will likely try and improve the casting notes that you give me or the problems you give me, and make it viable for this casting, or make my casting more decent and more enjoyable by you as it hadn't been previously. So again, thank you for watching. This is Frouwo, and I will see you in match 4.